Hello student, today I am taking the class 10 social science history chapter number 2, that is nationalism in India. Earlier I explained you about what type of different satyagraha movements will be take place in India, what are the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Rowlatt Act. Now today I am starting from this toward the civil disobedience movement. What are the different views within the Congress, how the Simon Commission formed, what are the demand of Purna Swaraj, Salt March and Civil Disobedience Movement, calling of the Civil Disobedience Movement, relaunching of Civil Disobedience Movement, meaning of the movement and movement of different groups. Now, towards civil disobedience, how this movement will be started? Do you know? Mahatma Gandhi in February decided to roll back the non-cooperation movement. The Chauri Chaura incident that occurred at Chauri in Gorakhpur districts of United Province on 4th February 1922. Do you know, there a peaceful demonstration in a bazaar, but it turned into violent clash with the police. So the incident led too much violence, so it caused death of 3 civilians and near about 22 or 23 policemen will be died. Gandhiji felt that satyagrahi needed to be properly trained before they would be ready for the mass struggles. Then this type of violence will be not happen. So the Mahatma Gandhi called a halt to this non-cooperation movement. Later, different views within the Congress. What happened? See, there was so many leaders are in the Congress, but they are having different views regarding these. So some leaders within the Congress, they were tried to mass struggle and they wanted to participate in the election to the provincial councils, which is set up by the Government of India Act in 1919. What they are thinking? They felt that it was important to oppose all the British policies within the councils. So do you know who are the leaders during that time? C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru, N.C. Kelkar. They formed a Swaraj party within the Congress to argue a more forceful mass agitation and for full independence, that they made this. In this situation of internal debate and discussion, do you know the two factors again they shaped in Indian politics toward the late 1990s? What are these type of two factors again? First was the effect of worldwide economic depression, that is and the second was during that time agriculture prices, which began to fall from 1926 and it collapsed after 1930. Now, formation of Simon Commission, how and why this Simon Commission formed. Under these circumstances, because so many people are started opposing, Simon Commission was constituted under John Simon. Its main objective of Simon Commission was to review the functioning of constitutional system in India, suggest changes. That is the main target. So, Indian leaders, they opposed the commission as there were no Indian in it, that is why they opposed this. When the commission arrived in India in 1928, it was greeted with the slogan, Simon go back. All the parties, including during that time Congress and the Muslim League, they participated in demonstration. Now, after that all the groups, they started demand of Purna Swaraj. In October 1929, the Viceroy, Lord Irwin, announced an uncertain offer of dominant status for India and a roundtable conference to discuss about the future constitution, how our constitution will be. So in December 1929, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, the Lahore Congress formalized the demand of Purna Swaraj or full independence for India. Do you know, it was also declared that the 26th January 1930, it would be celebrated as Independence Day, when people were to take a pledge to struggle for complete independence. Now we will see this. What is the Salt March and Civil Disobedience Movement? Mahatma Gandhi found that salt was a powerful symbol that could unite the nations, because during that time peoples are doing the struggle but all the peoples are not united. So Mahatma Gandhi thought that how we can unite them. So he wrote a letter to Viceroy Irwin urging 11 demands, which include the demand to abolish the salt tax, the tax on the salt, and the government's monopoly over its production. What it revealed the most cruel side of British rule. So Irwin was not ready to talk upon the demands, these 11 demands. So Gandhi ji took the decision to launch this movement. Now, the Civil Disobedience Movement. Do you know, along with 78 followers, Gandhiji started his march from Sabarmati Ashram on 12th March 1930 for Dandi and the coastal town of Gujarat. On 6th April, he reached Dandi and ceremonially violated the salt law. He manufactured salt there by soiling seawater. So this marked the beginning of the Civil Disobedience Movement. As this movement spread in India, what happened? The foreign clothes were boycotted, liquor shops were picked. Peasants refused to pay the revenue and chowkidari taxes. Village officials resigned from their post, and in many places, forest peoples, they also violated the forest law. So in this way, this movement will be spread very fast. Worried about the ongoing movement, so can the British will be stopped? No. The colonial government began, they started arresting the Congress leader one by one. Now, what happened? See the next. Calling of the Civil Disobedience Movement. Why? Peaceful satyagrahi were attacked. Women and children were beaten, and and about 1 lakh people were arrested. So when prominent leader Abdul Ghaffar Khan was arrested on April 1930. So what happened? These angry crowd, they demonstrated in Peshawar and several places. The violent incidents were reported during that time, and in such a situation, Mahatma Gandhi once again decided to call off this movement and entered into the pact with Irwin on 5th March 1931. Relaunch again, how the Gandhiji relaunched this Civil Disobedience Movement. Do you know? In December 1930, Gandhiji went to the London for the round table conference, but what happened? But the discussion was of no use and he returned disappointed. Back in India, when he came back in India, he found that Congress had been declared illegal. Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru both were sent in the jail, and so Mahatma Gandhi again he relaunched the Civil Disobedience movement. If the question is asked why again relaunching of Civil Disobedience, we have to write this. Next, see this. This movement was continued for a year and almost all of its momentum by the year 1934. Formation of Hindustan Socialist Republican Army. How it will be formed? Do you know many nationalists did not believe in non-violent method for achieving freedom in 1928. Some of the nationalists like Bhagat Singh, Jatin Das, Ajay Ghosh, they founded one Hindustan Socialist Republican Army HSRA in 1928 at a meeting in Firozshah Kotla ground in Delhi. What is called the meaning of the movement for different groups? Do you know? Different social groups participated in Civil Disobedience movement of different, they are having different ideals or reasons. Meaning of Swaraj was different for different social groups. What was that? See, in the countryside, rich peasant communities like the Patidas of Gujarat, the Jats of Uttar Pradesh were enthusiastic supporters of the Civil Disobedience movement. What they done? They organized their communities to participate in boycott these programs. Second, a depression continued. The poor peasantries found it difficult to pay their rent to the landlords, so they joined a varieties of radical movement, often led by some socialists and communists in hope that they would not have to pay the rent any further. So they joined. Next, some associations like Indian Industrials and some commercial congress and industries under the leadership of G.D. Birla, Purushottam Thakurdas, etc. They also supported this civil disobedience movement in the hope that business restriction would be lifted. Now, the industrial working classes did not participate in the civil disobedience in large number, except in Nagpur region some had joined. Another important feature of this movement was a large scale participation of the women. Women also participated in this. Do you know, in urban area, women came from high caste families, they also joined, and in rural areas, women came from rich peasants' households. Women were service to the nation, their second duty. Now, what are the limits of this civil disobedience movement? Our social group were not moved by the concept of Swaraj. So, one such group was the untouchable, who began to call themselves as a Dalit around 1930s. Do you know, the Muslims could not relate to this movement during that time. For a long time, the Congress had ignored. Why they had not joined this? Because Congress had ignored the Dalit for fear of offending the Satnamis. The conservative, high caste Hindus, Gandhiji called Dalit Harijan, or the children of the God. Gandhiji believed that Swaraj would not come for hundreds of years if untouchability was not eliminated from India. So he organized a satyagraha for them to secure their entry into the temples and access to the public wells, tanks, roads and schools. Gandhiji himself, do you know what he done? He himself cleaned the toilets to dignify the work of the sweepers. Gandhiji urged the upper class to change their mindset regarding the untouchables. Stand Dalit leaders. Do you know, Dalit leaders wanted different political solutions to the problem of their community. Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar demanded a reserved seats in educational institutions and a separate electorate that would choose these Dalit members of Stand Dalit leaders. Dalit leaders wanted to different political situations to the problem of their community. So Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, he demanded some reserves, seats in educational institutional, a separate electorate that would choose Dalit members of legislative councils. Do you know, Ambedkar organized the Dalit into depressed classes association in 1930. His views differ with Mahatma Gandhi at the second round table conference by demanding a separate electorate for the Dalits. When the British government admitted Ambedkar's demand, so Gandhiji strongly opposed it and began a fast unto death. So he believed that the separate electorate for Dalits would slow down the process of their integration into the main society. So Ambedkar ultimately he accepted Gandhiji position and researched Pune Pact of September 1932. It was signed and it gave the depressed classes reserved seats in provincial and central legislative councils, but they were to be voted in by general electorate. Hindu-Muslim clash. But do you know, some of the Muslim political organizations in India, they rarely participated in civil disobedience movement, and after the decline of non-cooperation and the Khilafat movement, so a large section of Muslim felt separate from the Congress, and from the mid 1920 the Congress came to be more visibly associated with openly Hindu religious nationalist groups like Hindu Mahasabha, as relation between Hindu and Muslims was, and Hindu-Muslims communal clashes and riots occurred in various cities. Do you know, in 1930, Sir Muhammad Iqbal, the president of Muslim League, demanded the importance of separate electorates for Muslims. He thought that it would be safeguard their money political interests. He justified the Muslim demand. So the criterion of Muslim India within India. Now difference between Hindu Mahasabha and Muslim League. See, the Congress and Muslim League, they made effort to talk again for unity. In 1927, it appeared that such a unity could be possible. The only difference between Congress and Muslim League was on the representation in the future assemblies that were to be elected. That is the reason. So, Muhammad Ali Jinnah of Muslim League was willing to give up the demand of separate electorate for two conditions. First, the Muslims were assured reserved seats in the Central Assembly, and second one, representation would be in proportion to the population of Muslim dominated provinces Bengal and Punjab. These were the two demands. But can this issue will be resolved? But the issue was not resolved due to strong opposition of Hindu Mahasabha led by M.R. Jayakar. So how the sense of collective belonging will become? So we will see the sense of collective belonging. Do you know, the nationalist movement spread when the people belonging to the different regions and communities, they began to develop a sense of collective belongingness. If it will be not, so there will be no unity in the country. It developed through, how these will be developed? It developed through experience of united struggles. So many cultural processes like they also contributed in to make the peoples unite. History, fiction, some folklores, some songs, some popular prints and symbols all played a part in making of nationalisms, and it make the people unite. It was seen in the following ways how it helps. First one, the identity of nation is most often symbolized in a figure or a image. So do you know, this image of Bharat Mata was first created by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay in 1870 when he wrote Vande Mataram for our motherland. Second one, later this song was included in his novel Anand Mat, and now widely sung by the freedom fighters during that time, and the image of Bharat Mata was first painted by Abindranath Tagore. Next, Indian folk songs and folk tales sung by Ward groups, wandering poets. It also played an important role for making the idea of nationalisms. In Bengal, Rabindranath Tagore, and in Madras, Natesa Shastri, they collected massive collections of folk tales and songs, so which led the movement of folk revivals. During the Swadeshi movement also, a tricolor, means red, green and yellow, flag was designed in Bengal. Do you know, it has 8 lotuses that representing 8 provinces, and a crescent moon representing Hindus and Muslims. But in 1929, Gandhi ji had designed the Swaraj flag, and it was tricolor and having a spinning wheels in the center representing Gandhian ideal of self-help. Now nationalism through Indian ancient history, how this spirit will be developed. Another means of creating feeling of nationalism was explaining the meaning of history again. Do you know, the nationalist writers urged the readers to take pride of Indians' great achievement in the past, what type of struggles they done to change these miserable conditions of life under British rule. But unification of people involves some problems. When the past that was being glorified was Hindu and the images celebrated were taken from the Hindu iconography, so the people of other communities felt left out. That is the reason. Second, so what we conclude here on this topic, a growing anger against the colonial government, it brought together various groups of the peoples and classes of these Indians into common struggle for freedom in the first half of the 20th century. However, you can see the different expectations of diverse groups pose a constant threat to unity. So the Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi tried to channel people's suffering into organized and united movement for independence. We have seen how nationalism will be and how our people will get freedoms. So my dear students, all the leaders had done sacrifice their life to make our India free and united. So it is our duty that we can remain united and protect our country. Thank you.